Hello, welcome to Real United Talk post-match first game of the season. Manchester United versus Crystal Palace. Joined tonight by Martin. How are we doing, mate?
Yeah, good, thank you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad.
Good.
Diedrich, you look, you don't look too happy. Yeah, okay. Right, let's get straight into it then, lads. Martin, you can go first. What did you think overall?
Shocking. Usually, when you have a bad performance, there's usually highlights, isn't there? But that's one of the first games in a long, long time where I thought every single player, including subs, was shit. I guess you could say Van der Beek goal was good, but the rest, bang average. Yeah, shocking performance all around. And Ollie was saying that they look sharp and stuff in training. Well, I don't know what the fuck he saw because I didn't see that on the pitch.
Right, I didn't either. Diedrich, mate, a man of many words. I'm expecting you to give me some in-depth analysis of the game. So, what did you think of it? And what went wrong?
No in-depth analysis. We were just fucking shit. It's as simple as that. That was absolutely shocking. But it's like I was saying to you pre-show, I'm not even prepared to come on and kick off and run and do all that kind of shit because I half expected it, and I mean, I wanted the. I don't know. Something just doesn't feel right. I don't know whether it's because we'd kicked off a week after everyone else, or I just didn't feel the excitement. It literally feels like we've just had a gap in between playing the Sevilla match and this. It's just like we've had like a month-long holiday. It feels still connected in some way, if that makes any sense. Just feels like we've just picked up where we've left off, really. Like the way we played against Copenhagen, the way we played against fucking Sevilla.
I should have rated this show. Actually, I should have put on the description. It's 18 plus because I'm going to say quite a few nasty things. I think, and I'm probably going to get a bit of backlash.
Welcome.
I think I said it before the kickoff. I've said it on numerous shows as well. I think David De Gea has finished at Manchester United. I think his last two seasons have been absolutely fucking shocking. I think the first goal, he's quite away from his near post. If he goes further to his near post, it narrows the angle behind him. And all right, fair play, he gets a couple of fingers on the ball. But I think that Luke Shaw was, I wouldn't say he was out of position, just wasn't tight enough. But leading up to that, the cross that comes in from the left-hand side that goes across the box, I think Lindelof is an absolute fucking disgrace. I think he should be stronger in that. He should be making a tackle. And I think he's completely at fault for that first one, for not closing down and getting rid of it. I think the third goal, again, just goes to show how weak he is at the back. Again, it's a 50-50 ball onto the edge of the box. I think it was Ayew that holds it up, laid it off to Zaha, and then again at De Gea's near post, and De Gea is supposed to be covering it. I think De Gea is a fucking shadow of himself, and I've got to say, I'm fully in the camp of getting Dean Henderson in net now for a good run of games. I think De Gea is just a has-been now for Manchester United. He made a good stop, from I think it was near enough a point blank header or half a volley. Good reaction for that, mate. But I think if you're the world's best goalkeeper and you're playing at supposedly the top club in England for Manchester United, you've got to cover your near post, and that's twice in one game. He was caught out at his near post. His positional sense is shit. I think Lindelof is absolute fucking shit. He's not the answer for Maguire. I think Maguire is too slow. Townsend exposed the speed in him. Zaha exposed the speed in those two centre-backs. And even Ayew, who's not the quickest, exposed them for pace. I thought Bailly should have started. I much prefer Bailly over Lindelof. I think he's much better, but he's better in the air. He's better one-on-one. I don't trust Lindelof as a centre-back at all. And I think now, after that, performance. It's not. I'm not going to blame Ollie for it. I know the players are rusty. They've had. I think Ollie said they had a maximum of 2 weeks off. I think since all this has been going on, and when you got players recovering from coronavirus, and some are training alone, some are isolation, some just aren't fit. I think when you look at that squad, mate, it's fucking dead. It's absolute dead. It needs money. And to be honest, I don't know where United go from here. I really don't. You got a striker in Igalo that's going in 3 months' time. That needs sorting out in the next 2 weeks. You got a gaping hole on the right hand side or the left hand side. Depending on where you're putting Rashford and Martial, you got a gaping hole at left back, and you got a hole at centre back, and possibly in the next year or two, goalie. So, where's the priority here, boys? Martin, you got 2 weeks left. After seeing that horror show,
centre back,
it's got to be, isn't it? It's got to be.
Yeah, it has to be. And centre back and right wing, that was so evident today. So evident. It was just fucking shocking all over, wasn't it? It was awful. It was absolutely awful, mate.
Diedrich, you talk about Sancho a fair bit. After that showing today, right, in a logical sense, £108 million on a right winger, right, knowing what you've just seen on the telly, is that the way to go now?
I'd still, what? I would actually think I'd still go for it because I think he adds another attacking element, and I think at the minute, I'd even before Van der Beek came on, I don't even think we fucking really look like scoring. And call it maybe Van der Beek still got he hasn't had the fucking dullness drilled into him yet. But if that were any other player apart from Van der Beek, they'd probably try and take another touch and lose the chance. Whereas Van der Beek just thought, fuck it. So he hasn't had bad habits drilled into him yet. I'm feeling that way, but I think we don't. My priority will always be. I used to play a winger and a striker, so I'm always going to want to see goals. I believe that offense is the best fucking defense, but the whole thing is just a massive shit show. It really is. It depends what you're weighing up. I think. If Tuanzebe can have a season uninjured, I think he is our partner for Maguire. But it's okay. He's another one. He's another one that adds to that list of how many injury-prone centre-backs we've got. Bailly, injury-prone. Rojo, injury-prone. Phil Jones, injury-prone. If you add Tuanzebe in there, that's another injury-prone centre-back. I don't know what the fuck these guys are doing in training or what our physios are doing or what our club doctors are doing, but surely they should be identifying this shit.
Right, interesting comment here. Right, welcome to everyone who's joined in here. Max, Kylie, Mark, I think Akil's in here. Akil's here. And there's some others who haven't commented yet. What do you think of this, right? I'm going to put this up, man. I don't want it to come across as bullying, right? But I'm going to put this up straight away because this is from George Kyle, right? May seem far-fetched, but Ollie may get sacked this season, right? After one game. Okay?
But didn't George say if Ollie doesn't deliver the title, he should be sacked?
This is it. This is it, mate. This is the purpose of the shows, the opinions, the debates. Fantastic. Martin, do you think there could be a bit of truth to that? Because bear in mind, it's the people above him that have got his hands tied behind his back, right? Like they did with Van Gaal to an extent, and they certainly did it with Mourinho, right? Is it fair that Ollie should get the same fucking treatment, or should he expect when he this job? Should he have expected to be treated any different to the previous manager?
Yeah, he should not because of who he is. Though he should be treated different in the way that they do things. He's so fucking disorganized. The whole lot is just well, everyone knows what a sham it is. It's just messy from top to bottom, isn't it? It's so difficult to say at the moment because I'm fucking fuming with that result. But in the last nearly decade now, we haven't really achieved anything or gone anywhere apart from spent a shitload. That's it. And that's a fucking long time to be dragged down by this fucking ownership.
I remember when we saw Beckham, I think it was 2003, and then we didn't win a league in 2004, 2005, and I think we won it in 2006. Those 2-3 years, however long it were, I honestly thought, I don't think I'm ever going to ever see us win another title again.
Yeah.
And we did, but this... And that was set off Mayday fucking symptoms for me, even just like going 1 or 2 seasons without winning the Premier League. And now look at it. What is it now? It's going to be 7 years, rolling on 8 years.
It's not good enough. It's not good enough.
All you've got to do is look at. Sorry, Marcus. All you've got to do is look at Ajax, for example. Right? I know they obviously have gone back kind of down to their level, right? But bear in mind, look at that Europa League final, right? Look at where we were as a club and look at where Ajax were. Both played each other, and look how they've look at where they ended up going to within 2 seasons of that. Within 2 seasons of that, they were in the Champions League semi-final, and it looked like they were going to fucking go all the way to the fucking final, and they were playing amazing football. You know, knocking out the likes of Real Madrid and stuff like that. And look, where were we that season? Did we not get embarrassed by Barcelona?
Yeah, it's a fair point. They developed quick, didn't they?
Jared's in the house as well. Welcome, Jared. He says these cheap fucking crooks running the club again. Will make the fans turn on Ollie if results aren't good. It's Woodward and the Glazers. We're going nowhere with them. A cancer in this club, mate. I personally, I think you're spot on with it. I don't see. I can see what the managers that have come in have wanted to do with the team. I can see where they wanted to take the team forward. But again, unless you have the financial backing to keep pace with what those above you are doing, you're just going to be forgotten about. And, you know, I think at the minute, I've got to say, I think Ed Woodward's a bit of a dead man walking at the minute, to be honest. Yeah. He's got just over 2 weeks left.
It's not just him, though. It's fucking Matt Judge, and it's like Ollie's got to take some... Ollie's not blameless in this. As much as I do love Ollie, and I'll back him to the fucking hill, but like you were arguing with someone earlier on, Marcus, because they said, "Why is he playing Dan James and Forzu?" And that it doesn't work. And we've kind of now found out why you shouldn't have played Dan James. He's one. He should have been the opposite way around. Dan James is someone you bring on against tired legs when there's a lot of space to run into, not at the beginning of a match when you know Palace. Don't forget, Palace beat us last season. In the last 2 years, they fucking done the double over us at Old Trafford. So he would have known that they're going to sit back and they're going to counter. So if I'm thinking a team's going to come and sit on the edge of the fucking box, the last thing I'm going to think of is play Dan James because there's going to be spacing behind. There's not going to be spacing behind. In a weird way, Dan James is the player you want to play against shit like Liverpool, where they're going to press you and there's going to be fucking half a mile in behind you. But there isn't against the King Crystal Palace. So this is why you should have started with Greenwood. Like McTominay, I mean, McTominay and Pogba both had fucking mares, if you ask me today, but I'd have still left Pogba on. And I'd have took fucking McTominay off of Van der Beek. It's stupid. He showed his ineptitude on that one. But at the same time, you've also got to look into it that way. It's like what we were saying at the end of the season. Who's he got to come on? Who?
Yeah. This is it. This, people, when I tweeted out about a month ago when Ollie said in that interview with Sky Sports, it's the quality of squad depth that needs improving. And that sentence for me just said, they're not going to spend £100 million on one player. They take out the loan for 150. You ain't bunging 3/4 of that on one player, mate. Not at all. Not at all. And I think the way they've gone about the business, the way Edwards gone about the business is it is like playing a game of chicken in an instance, but it's also waiting till the final moments to see if he can nab a bargain. If
But he's not
teams
going to
need
get it.
money, no,
He's
but
not
if
going to get
teams
it.
need money, right? Let's just say this, right? Let's just say, for argument's sake, right? He's probably hoping Dortmund, if he goes in for Sancho again on the 4th of October, right? He's probably hoping he can knock 20, 30 million off that price.
And you know why Dortmund won't do it? Because they won't
they
have
won't.
time to line up a
No,
replacement.
precisely, exactly. I was just going to say that. Exactly, spot on. Because Ed Woodward, that's the way that fucker thinks. If he can save money in his pocket, Martin, he'll do it all day long.
Yeah.
Because that is what he's instructed to do by the ones above him, the ones that have employed him. He's been told to say, you know, this is the budget. You want them targets. They're not going to happen. We got to get second, third, or fourth choice. Sometimes even fifth under Mourinho.
That's the weird thing, though, isn't it? When you look at it from like a fan's point of view, we all despise Ed Woodward, and I don't even know a lot about Matt Judge. But I'm guessing he's a fucking prick as well. But as far as Ed Woodward is concerned, though, he's thinking, well, fair enough, fans don't like me. Fucking these don't love me, the Glazers. They must absolutely love him.
Yeah.
They must absolutely love him. He must be thinking, well, so what? Hate me all you want. I'm still going to bed on a fucking big pile of money.
This is it, isn't it? I mean, yes, Pete. I mean, Jared says here it's got nothing to do with the managers at all. Maybe Woodward said we have Dan James, so we don't need to buy Sancho. Van Gaal and Jose have been great, but every time the list was ignored. Now, going to that, I remember Jose saying to Woodward, "There's a list for the Champions League. There's a list for the Europa League.
Yeah.
And no matter what list it was, get to the Champions League, and then." You know, you're looking at fucking. I remember we was linked to like that Jimenez centre back at Atletico Madrid, and then the following day it's fucking Jerome Boateng.
Yeah. No, it wasn't Jimenez. It was Godin.
That's the one. And then the difference in class is fucking phenomenal. It's worlds apart. But that is a prime example of Woodward's thinking.
Yeah. But it's like. I seen something the other day, and it made me think that. Well, actually, yeah, it's a fair point. It was arguing against the investment that we have when we're not in the Champions League versus the investment what we have when we're in the Champions League. Now, any other football club would go, "We're in the Champions League. Now's the time to fucking push on." Because obviously, there's going to be more games, more high-profile games. You know, kick on. This is the time to back the manager. Our club will go, let's put a stop on this one right here, and they'll just want to slow it straight down. And it just goes to show we are run like a fucking business. It's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, having Ferguson in for all those years, it kind of masked it. Every other season, we used to get fucking Ferguson coming out and going, "There's no value anymore." I'm still waiting for us to fucking reinvest the fucking 80 million Ronaldo money that we got.
Yeah.
Who did we buy that season? Obertan, fucking Michael Owen, and Antonio Valencia.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just goes to show that this shit's been going on already for our lives. But the fact of the matter is, we had argued with the greatest manager ever, and it was masked. We didn't even notice it. The worst thing that could have happened is Gill and Ferguson retiring at the exact same fucking time. Because at least Gill, although it was owned by the Glazers at the time, at least you had fucking somebody with the club's best interest at heart running the club. And we might not have always fucking, had the money, but he'd have still tried. He'd probably still fought for us. If he went to the Glazers and said, "We need money for X player," and they said no, he'd probably go, "Well, no, we need it, blah, blah." He would argue for us. Woodward have got, okay.
Yeah. I think if anyone's a yes man, it's Woodward, isn't it? At the minute.
He's a fucking knob.
Plain and simple, Diedrich. Love it. Ryan's here. Hiya, Ryan. Welcome. He says centre back, CDM, and right wing needed. Kylie says, how much longer can he be given if this season takes a nasty downward spiral? That's an interesting comment. How much?
He's right. He's right.
Yeah,
The
how long
the
do you
person
give
who'll
it
get the
then?
blame for this, the person who'll get the blame for this if shit goes sideways now is Ollie, and it's not.
Yeah.
I think today he deserves a bit. You did say,
Yeah,
Diedrich. I know you
he
did. You
deserves a
didn't say
bit,
he's faultless.
but I don't say. You've obviously got to look at the fucking thing. He was probably expecting to start this first game of the season with all the players that he can ask for, or at least have more than Donny van der Beek in. Let's not all pretend that Donny van der Beek was a fucking. If he hadn't already agreed a deal to fucking Real Madrid and the COVID thing kicked in, he'd probably be at Real Madrid right now. I mean, as much as I do like Donny van der Beek, I think he's a class player. We're fucking class. But let's not forget, he was leaving Ajax anyway. So basically, I think Edward van der Sar is basically thought, well, I'll find you a deal. I know. United's second bet. United's not a bad club to go, so you go there. Otherwise, he'd already be at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And he's just not going to get backed. It's fucking pointless.
Well, Akil says we might see some movements in the transfer market now as everyone is panicked. But that shouldn't be the way a club like United work. We should have sorted out the signings before the season. Yeah, mate, totally. Max says we need 2 centre-backs, a right wing and a left back. But we'll probably only sign a left back and a right wing, though. And he also says McTominay should have never have played the full game.
Well, Gary Neville said it. He said, you've been in lockdown for the last 6 months. So during that period, why can't we already get all this set in place for when the football does come back? You can literally just flick a switch and go ding, 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 knock all the pins down that were already been set up.
Yeah. This is the thing, Martin. I don't know about you, but I saw signs today of it was very similar to how we finished last season. Very leggy, very lackluster. Passes were fucking atrocious. Even the simple passes. To highlight, I think Pogba tried to pass 5 or 10 yards 3 times in the space of a minute and misplaced every single one of them.
Is that just before he come off?
Yeah.
I was losing my rag then.
Yeah, 3 simple passes, 5-10 yards, each one of them got intercepted.
He didn't look like he gave a shit.
No, he didn't. He looked very tired. Bruno did a lot of tracking back, a lot of covering, trying to give a bit of energy in that midfield, but failed to do so because the pace of Townsend, Zaha, and Ayew they just simply outpaced them. It was, it is that simple.
I think tactically, Hodgson got the better of Ollie today, to be fair.
Yeah. Spot on.
Yeah.
I think he done him perfectly in a counter-attack setup. I think Ollie was so naive the way he set up with McTominay, thinking that he's going to cover a counter-attack. That was fucking ridiculous.
One of the worst decisions for me is the fact that when the substitution was made for Igalo, McTominay went at right back.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I thought to myself, fuck me, this is, I remember Jose playing him at centre-back, I think.
Against West Ham.
West Ham, yeah. And I thought, Jesus Christ, it's like deja vu again. But you look past it and you think, okay, look at the options on the bench. You want to attack the game. You need to get a goal. Who can you bring on apart from Igalo?
Yeah.
The options just aren't there for him. And I think Diedrich, I can't see anyone else coming in. I really can't.
He has to. Let's say Woodward needs to. Otherwise, he wants ripping out of that club. He wants ripping out of that fucking boardroom. If he cannot fucking get anybody, he's already. I hate him. He's literally. I know I said I wouldn't rant, but I really do hate that fucking man. He's just a horrible little bastard. All he's more interested about is fucking getting money for the Glazers. He's mint at tying up these fucking noodle deals and shit like that, but he's not mint at even. Every single thing he does is like he's reading from a fucking booklet that says how not to run a football club. It lets people's contracts fucking dwindle down, but yet the players that I remember when Herrera were at the club 2 seasons before he actually left. I think it was after the Europa League. He was being linked to going to Barcelona, and he wouldn't even. I think he had a year left, or with the option of another year. That would have been the time to tie up for him for another contract. But no, he went and fucking renewed fucking Fellaini's contract rather than Herrera's. And now all this shit is just, he's inept and incompetent. This is why. And every single person that's apparently is interviewed for that director of football job, I think it was Rio and Evra. What did Evra come out and say? He said, that's not a real job. That is not a real job title. Because he's literally, your director of football almost bypasses your CEO and goes straight to the owner and says, this is what we want, give me the money.
Okay.
Fair enough. But the way the fucking apparently it was going to line up that way, it was basically going to be so the director of the football does the negotiating with the club that we're buying from, gets a price, and then he'd have to then go to fucking Ed Woodward, and then Ed Woodward would go to the fucking owners. So it's a pointless title. You're literally just asking for permission from two set of people.
I'm back now.
Yeah, he's just. I think the guy's an asshole, and if he doesn't get what Ollie wants or is even asking for, then obviously Ollie, there's some blame will fall on Ollie's door, no doubt, because I think he didn't help himself. Yeah. But at the same time, it'll be a case of fucking, well, you haven't backed him. What are you expecting him to do? And we can't keep doing this. You can't have Ed Woodward hiring somebody, backing him, then letting him down, then sacking him. We can't keep having this thing. If I'm a manager of a business and I keep hiring the wrong person, the person below me, or I keep fucking up, how long before you look at me as a manager and say, well, you're the one hiring these people and they're not doing what we're asking them to do? How long before you look as an owner, look at your manager, look at the CEO and go, well, you're hiring these, what?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it might sound like I'm fucking rambling gibberish, but it is, it's true. In any way, shape, or form, if the person you're hiring to hire the manager keeps hiring the wrong manager, and you have to keep doing this every couple of, sure, that's going to cost more because you're going to have to pay the fucking guys the contracts off. They're also then going to need to back the new manager with fucking with hundreds of millions, just to let him down in a year's time anyway. It's just we're stuck in a little fucking revolving loop.
You know, I caught a video on YouTube the other day. Mark directed me to it, I think it was, and it was Stephen Howson with the title of Manchester United have finished.
Yeah, I watched that,
and I thought, okay,
yeah.
You know, I you know what? As much as I don't like the guy, he talked a lot of sense.
Yeah.
He talked a lot of sense about that video, because not only was he talking about the hierarchy at United and stuff like that, he was talking about the transfers. Why is no one coming in our players when they are blatantly up for sale and they're not part of the squad? He was talking about the finance situation up there, and do you know what? If you actually listen to it, I think it was about a good half hour, this video.
Yeah,
and I've got to say, it's one of the best in-depth fan videos I've ever watched. It illustrated everything, and I was sat there watching it for about 5 minutes, and I was really engrossed in it. It was really detailed.
Yeah.
Akil says this is looking like Jose's last season. We finished second, was not backed in the window, went down, would have got the sack. Hope it's not a repeat. I think that's the way it's looking at the minute.
I totally agree with it. I had that same feeling. I remember at the beginning of that season, we kicked off first game. We had a Friday night fixture against Leicester, weren't it, at Old Trafford? I think we kicked off the Premier League that season, and I just didn't have any confidence in it. We had a sharp pre-season. Remember, it was whinging and moaning. Pereira started in fucking centre mid. Luke Shaw scored the winner, and I remember thinking something's not right. And I had that feeling tonight. It was just there wasn't that buzz. It just literally, like I said, not to go over the same point, it just feels like we've had a month off, a holiday, and we've kicked on from Seville. It feels the exact same.
Jared said he's hiring the right people for the club. We are. They all deflect blame from the board. Woodward should be fucking arrested. Kylie says that's why I said Ollie will get the sack at the start of the show. And Max says, is Ollie the right man? I don't know, but he has not been backed. Mate,
who do you bring in? Who do you bring in?
Well, this is it, mate. I don't want to rinse and repeat like Akil was saying there. Fucking over and over and over. I want a settled manager here who's got a good vision, who wants to bring in youth players as well as transfers and do it the right way. He needs time to build. And I think, a lot of the people that everyone comes across on social media and that are negative just for negative sake because of ticks and views, I think that will end up being a telling time, Martin. I think the more people that I think if Ed Woodward don't get anyone else in here, and I would probably say at least 2 more in the next 2 weeks, I think there's going to be a fucking uproar. I really do.
There will be. There will be. That's brewing. You can feel it. I don't think I've ever seen it as hostile as it is at the minute, and rightly so, because this is fucking years and years of shit now. It's awful, isn't it? It's just fucking awful because
it ruins your weekend.
It has, mate.
I agree with it. I totally agree with it. I'm saying you get that fucking thing where you're like, throughout the week, you're like, can't wait for the weekend, watch a game, and then as it grows close, you're like, and the shit result, it's like, fuck it, I'm done.
I'm pretty balanced with that. I'm pretty level-headed. I can usually take it and just make a joke out of it, like how we'll do better next season. We're just building still and that sort of shit. But today, a lot of people have said it from what I've seen, and I felt the same. It was that feeling like Burnley, that helplessness, like a much lower standard club and team. Pissed all over us. All game as well.
Sorry, we're joined by Panky. Look, it's a bit
Panky,
late over there. What are you doing here?
I agree with him. No, I agree with him, Martin. It had a horrible feeling.
Actually, I didn't have the courage to come on.
Why?
After the performance, but I wouldn't blame any player, to be honest. I don't know what's going on wrong. Whether it's the board not bringing in new signings to uplift the team, or whether the environment is not good enough it's like with all years he's trying to make an environment which is good, but it doesn't seem as good from the outs. It seems good from the outside, but it's not as good as behind the scenes. I think.
Yeah.
The club, it seems very rosy as fans look at it, like in training and all, but it's not that. Something is wrong, to be honest. So,
can I just say something? I mean, going back to your point, Marcus. You said it's a rebuilding thing, but how many rebuilds are we going to go through?
This is it.
How many times are we going to? How many times is it? A builder is only as good as his tools and his apprentice and stuff like that. Yeah, if you're building a house, if at the start of the week you start building a fucking house, it gets to weekends and you fuck off site and you come back and a lot of tramps have knocked it down.
Yeah.
There's pissed everywhere and shit everywhere and there's sleeping bags everywhere. You're gonna have to fucking start again, aren't you? And that is literally Ed Woodward is the piss. Glazers are the fucking sleeping bags.
but that, you know what, that game felt like as if a mid-season, as if you're playing during a season, a mid-season kind of thing where the players have lost it and there's a fallout between your manager. It seemed like that performance, but actually the board are the problem. For several, you can blame the manager all we want, but the structure of the club is as it is. You can see it's affecting performances on the pitch. What is happening outside things happening outside the pitch. It is what it is. Like,
I just want to take a minute or two just to plug something in here. Right now, Mark has been doing. Give the score. Mark has been doing an absolute fantastic job on the report card, the interactive fan rate. I want to say rating show. I want to say that. But he's also doing a man of the match calling as well after the games. So
man of the match.
Yeah.
Wonder beat.
Yeah, so the man of the match, you got to call the report card at outlook.com. And if you just type in the report card on Skype, it does come. So if you want to get involved with that, you can call that. Diedrich, on your rebuild thing, right, I'm going to come back to that and I'm going to say, when you have David Moyes for 9 months, right, and he brings in, how many do you bring in? 2, 3? Mata, Fellaini, Who else was it that came in under Moyes?
He brought in a Uruguayan lad, right back.
That did nothing.
I don't really think he got much of a chance. I think we sold
Right.
him to Frankfurt, and the name begins with G.
So the main
Fellaini,
ones
he brought
mainly matter.
too late, and he brought Massey in January.
So he comes in, he gets 2 players, he gets booted out after 9 months. Van Gaal comes in, wins a trophy, gets a couple of players each
Moyes
season.
deserved it though. I kind of said that. Moyes deserved it. Anyone that says Fellaini, anyone who chooses Fellaini over Toni Kroos deserves a boot up fucking arse.
Hang on, right? So Van Gaal gets two seasons, an FA Cup, and gets booted out because it's not good enough. Gets a couple of players. Mourinho comes in, knocks it down, wants instant players now, players that are ready. Gets a couple of players, not what he wanted, not the players he wanted. Gets a Charity Shield, gets Europa League, gets a League Cup, gets booted out. Ollie comes in, wants to go with youth, fast, energetic, counter-attack style of football. Gets rid of the players that are slow, that are on their way out. And there's still players there now. And he's only had the job 18 months, I want to say, at a push.
Yeah.
It's going to take more than 2 seasons to rebuild a club as big as Manchester United are. Whether they're still a big club or not is beside the point, right? But it's still going to take, if the best manager in modern day football today, right, which people said Mourinho was, couldn't do it, right? One of the best European managers or tactical managers in Van Gaal couldn't do it. What hope has Solskjaer got, right? So with that in mind, Pankaj, is Ollie going to get the sack sooner rather than later? Because that's what Kylie's saying.
Look, the sad part is that I don't want him to get sacked because it's not his fault. But if performances happen like that, then I don't know what to say because he needs to get back. The board can't sack him. It's like
you watched the game, yeah?
Yeah, what's the game?
Right, so would you put that game, right? Would you put that down to fitness levels, rust, just not up to it? What would you put that down to?
I can't tell you what that. It was shocking performance. I can't really tell you what went wrong because the whole team looked dysfunction, like as if they haven't played before with each other. It's like dysfunction. Even you look at teams like Leeds and all these and Newcastle, Watford, even the championship sides, they know how to play with each other. Like even though they're not good enough players, right? But they still know how to play with each other. Our team, we don't know how to play with each other. I don't know what's the problem, whether the off-pitch performances or I can't really tell you, like, to be honest, because it's like Bruno, right? Since he came in, when he came in, he looked a very good player, and then maybe training with certain mediocre players downgrade his level. I don't know, because they are mediocre. They are players who are really average in the team. I could name players who are average, to be honest. Pereira, Lingard, Jones. And I'm telling you for a fact, Lindelof, I would say Smalling is better than Lindelof. At least he knows how to defend.
Yeah.
I'll tell you for a fact. And we are selling in Smalling instead of Lindelof. You know who should go first? Lindelof instead of Smalling. And we're disrespecting Smalling. I feel for all these years, Smalling has been a scapegoat, just like Fellaini, to be honest. Or certain kind of players. I'm telling you that. Because at least these players, they know they know what it means to play. Rather, even if Fellaini is not that a good player, right? They know how to play really. But there are certain players that are dysfunctional. They don't know how to play with each other. Bruno, Pogba. I don't know what's wrong. Because whether there is a system or not, I don't really know. Because
I'll tell you what, mate. I'll tell you what.
I don't know, man.
I'm going to give you your own, right? Because you can talk for the whole fucking world. You can, right? Martin, he's talking about players there being made scapegoat and stuff like that, right? So a little bit of, he's talking about players coming and going. Yeah. Mohamed Jabri here says, right, and welcome to the show, mate. He says, it hurts that the board is not backing Ollie after finishing third last season. Poor guy has to back the board in public, whereas Chelsea is supporting Lampard for finishing fourth. How do you think Ollie would be feeling?
Fucking fuming, mate, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be raging. He'll feel helpless because he'll know he'll get the boot, and he will.
Yeah.
And for him being so ingrained in this club, it must be killing him. However, I think he should have got better out of that team today. This result isn't all on the board. That squad is good enough to beat Palace. Today was on him and the team. It wasn't on the board.
But can I give
And
you
to
an
be
honest
honest,
opinion?
75% of games, they will be on the tactics and the team. They won't be on the board because we can beat 15 teams in this league every week.
We lost last week, though, didn't we? Let's not forget that we fucking got beat off Villa. And it's fair enough that we're a weakened team, but we lost that as well.
We lost that as well. So it shouldn't be an excuse, but I don't know what it is, because it's like you need new signings really to really boost the team, because I remember when Mourinho finished sixth, right, that season, and he won the Europa League, the FA Cup. Before he came in, new signings came in, right, like Pogba, Zlatan, all these guys, right? So we won trophies because we, brought in players, right? So you need to refresh your squad. It's not I'm not making an excuse, but you need to refresh your squad, in my opinion, because these players, some of the players could be unfit. So you need kind of to refresh the squad, to boost the squad. You need signings, seriously, you can see it there. If you would have got Sancho, Alex Telles, put in Sancho instead of Daniel James in that game against Crystal Palace, this game, sorry, right? You could have brought him before the Villa game. You could have played him against Aston Villa. Make him
he'd be
ready.
quarantined anyway for the next 2 weeks. I don't think he'd be able to play.
But the team would have been functioning itself, because when you bring in players, right, with quality, the team want to really uplift their game, or kind of improve their game in themselves, so that they can motivate themselves. It motivates themselves, as fans, right, as players as well. They wish that the club shows ambition. The players are not dumb, they can see that clubs are not showing ambition. Are the players dumb to see that? So obviously there is that factor.
That's why I said, if Pogba comes out and says now, right, I want to leave now, and because like I said, they're not prepared to bring in the players to challenge for titles and stuff like that, do you know what? I'd take that. As bad as that may seem, I'd rather him come out and say that and be honest, rather than say I'm looking for a new challenge. If he comes out and says it's because the ambition isn't there for the club and everything else like that, I'll say, you know what? Cheers for your honesty. We know, at least then we're kind of getting justified and we're getting validated that we know it's not fucking us thinking, oh, we're the ones whinging. We at least know that the players feel like we do as well. And this is the scary thing as well. I was thinking, hey. I was thinking about this the other day, earlier on. I thought to myself, how long is it before? No, this is serious. There's going to come a time, and in the next few years, if we don't start eventually clicking, how long is it before teams start coming for our players? How long is it before Real Madrid and shit like that start coming for, the likes of Rashford? How long is it before people start coming in for Greenwood? Because loyalty and stuff like that will only get you so far. I mean, look at Sterling. Sterling, QPR lad, but kind of got his chance through Liverpool. But eventually, if you're not doing anything like they weren't at the time, a big club comes in for you and you go. And that will eventually come a time where if we don't start winning trophies, our better players are going to want to leave. Even our local lads will be like, I love United, but I need to do what's best for my career, and they will go.
Yeah.
I think a player that we sorely missed today was Wan-Bissaka. As much as I enjoyed seeing Fosu Mensah on right back, I think they missed Wan-Bissaka's tackling down that right-hand side. He's so precise with his sliding tackles. I think he would have had the better of eye down there today for me. And when Fosu picked up that yellow card, he seemed to back himself away from the challenges an awful bit as well. Yeah. Whereas if it was Wan-Bissaka, mate, he'd have still fucking got in. Kylie says he wishes this was just a Pancard show. Mate, I think Pancard needs to get his own show in here. Max said as well that Hodgson just said it's not a penalty. I'm glad. I can't, Mark. No. Max said the players look tired as well. Jared says, don't agree at all with that. Board creates this terrible toxic atmosphere and players can't get their heads right. Rooney loved Everton but did the best for his career and joined United, said Mark. That's a good point as well. I want to, before we finish up, the refereeing decisions today, Diedrich. I mean, you said a lot about this to me over the phone during the game and on Twitter and stuff. The penalty, the retake. The law says, right, now the law says he's got to be on the line, right, until that ball is kicked. The replay showed he was at least 2 inches off the line. So the VAR, in my eyes, get the correct decision because that is the letter of the law. But how fucking stupid is that law?
It's a
took the
pathetic
penalty.
Law. I watched the game earlier on. Leeds.
Right.
The Serbian lad, Mitrovic, took a penalty, and some lad called Clinch or something took one for Leeds. Both of their goalkeepers come off the fucking line. They might not have saved it, but fucking still. That's one of those things where, if you remember at the start of a couple of seasons ago, at the start of the season, when they bring in these new laws, the referees almost kind of like got it drilled into them, like fucking met the correct decision. Do you remember the whole shirt pulling thing?
Yeah.
As soon as you got on someone's shirt, it was instantly a penalty. Then towards December, everyone kind of forgot about it. That'll be the exact same thing with this new law, where they're checking it and stuff like that. Like the second fucking penalty that he took, De Gea were off his line again. Why was that not retaken? What? Because it went in? It's a stupid law. And I'm not being funny. As a goalkeeper, you kind of got to. You can't just.
It's momentum, isn't it?
You won't notice what they do is they'll take a step forward, then dive to either side. You can't just go there and just fucking fall to you for right hand side, or left hand side. You've kind of got to jump into it. So you're naturally going to come off your line anyway. It's stupid. I'm not even a goalkeeper, even. I never fucking know that.
Martin, what did you think about it?
I thought how far off he was. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. But if that is the letter of the law, then you have to go with it. We can't blame this loss on a penalty, though. I didn't think it was a penalty, though. That handball, that was that was diabolical. That was. But
we did get a couple of ropey ones at the end of last season, so it kind of evens itself out.
Yeah. We didn't lose because of penalties. I'm just going on like individual instance.
I thought it was karma. I thought it was karma when he missed. I thought, well, it's rectified itself, and then we've carried on playing, got to the halfway line, and they've pulled it back.
Yeah,
that's the thing. What happened? The first time he initially pulled back for the penalty, we've carried on playing, gone up. Rashford's had a shot. And then they pulled it back. Imagine that goal for Rashford had gone in.
Yeah.
Would he have had the balls to then go, oh, well, actually, that goal's cancelled and you're getting a fucking penalty opposite end?
They do. It's happened. It happened last year.
Pancars, what did you think of it? What do you think about the whole VAR for that game?
I wouldn't say it's not a surprise, and it's part of the game. It's the rules. You can't blame rules because of what had happened to us. Obviously, it was a terrible performance. Can't make excuses. It's part of the game. I can't blame VAR or anything. It's stupid to blame anything or bringing rules. Nothing. Our performance, we were shit. We made, what Patrice Evra said. We made them look like Real Madrid or Barcelona. He's damn right. Because you expect us to beat Crystal Palace, like the squad we have. So I wouldn't even blame. I wouldn't blame Oli. You don't even need tactics to beat Crystal Palace. You can't blame the tactics as well.
You need some sort of tactics, mate, to play football.
Need something, otherwise you've won the fucking beat us twice.
The tactic we played was attacking football, obviously playing out from their back, which Oli wants to do really. But it didn't. I don't know what happened. Individual mistakes or on the ball too much with Lindelof. I felt Lindelof was terrible today. Terrible.
I do as well. I think.
To be fair, I think Lindelof had a bad game. But
He
apart
weren't
from
the
the
only
goal
one.
scorer, can you think of any player that played above a 5?
No, I can't.
I was thinking though about Bruno Fernandes. I thought, actually, I love Bruno and I love Rashford. They're my two favourite players. I love Rashford, love him. But even he, I fucking hell. Apart from that shit shot he had, I can't think of anything he did.
I think when Van der Beek came on,
tried his best.
He dropped back. When Van der Beek came on and he dropped back, he didn't have any in the game whatsoever.
I felt sorry for Van der Beek. You must be thinking, oh shit, why have I come here to sign? Yeah. Because the guy was like, I felt sorry for him. I don't know.
Mohammed, welcome, mate. He says today's game was all about desire and we lacked a great amount of it. Felt as if I was watching a Van Gaal team with the sideways passing in pointless corners and nothing to show for inside the box. Again, mate, I don't think we go on, Diedrich.
I was going to say, I'd put money on it that in the next 2 days, now after this result, you're going to see some PR about us fucking going in for a player that we haven't been linked with, and it'll be a big name. But I'm not saying I'm in the know or anything else like that, but
no.
How many times have you seen it where we've got beat and then all of a sudden, day after, we've been linked with a big player? It's just PR. Ed Woodward will be already fucking...
No.
Listen to me. Listen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying we're going to have a bid accepted. What I said is Ed Woodward will probably brief the press tomorrow that we're linked with somebody.
Oh, God.
Ed Woodward will be in contact with the press saying, oh, yeah, it'll be a case of, we've agreed terms with Mbappe, some shit like that. And then all the United fans will get excited and we'll forget about what we just witnessed.
Exactly.
Till weekend, and then it will start again.
I'm not going to fall in the trap.
He'll be in the fucking group chat now saying, we're after this one, we're after that one. He'll come out with a fucking whole list of 11 players now.
Arsenal have just gone 1-0 up.
Oh, shit, I forgot that was on.
Who's good?
Probably Aubameyang.
Either Aubameyang or Lacazette, they're both celebrating together, so I can't tell.
Actually, Aubameyang is in my fantasy.
I think it's off. It's offside.
Offside, is it?
Weird lines.
Kylie says Ollie sadly must take overall blame for so many players playing badly.
Yeah.
Which is when you see Ollie moving towards the exit door. Mark says we'll be linked with Saul Niguez. And then Kylie says Matt Judge, Ed Woodward should be strapped. What? Strapped to the ped? I can't read that, Kylie.
No, it's onside. It's VAR.
Sent off towards Germany to get Sancho.
What's that?
Mate, have I read that right? Let me just put that out there. Matt Judge and Ed Woodward should be strapped to a pedalo and sent off towards Germany to get Sancho. Isn't it? Yeah.
Why is he still on about Sancho? I
thought he was saying something else then that sounds similar to pedalo.
You thought you were calling him a pedo?
Yeah. I thought I read that right. Bay and Twan Seavey are good but are always injured, said Max. I think Bay should start ahead of Lindelof anyway. Ahmed said Ed Woodward will probably go and bid a 60 million offer for Koulibaly just to put the paper over the hole. I thought City were going after Jimenez now.
Jimenez from Wolves or from Atletico?
Atletico.
No, it's signed a fucking 6-year deal. I think he's got like a 5-year contract or something.
I thought they were going after him now. Were you on about Panky?
No, at this point, I might even consider Adama Traore the player which, to be honest,
that's the funny thing as well. How much did Jota just go for? 43 million. Yeah. I'd put money on it. If we went to Adama Traore, it's how much do you want for Traore? Like 80 million.
Yeah.
Because it's us.
Yeah. Premium. We always pay the premium price, as United.
But that goes to show how business is done. They got the Thiago deal over the line. Fair enough, they took the piss with that though. But I think they announced Thiago, and within an hour, Fabrizio Romano said, they've linked to fucking to Jota. Within what's it been, a day and a half? They've signed him.
Yeah, they've got him already. Yeah.
If that was, we'd be interested. We'd be monitoring.
Mark says Sancho would not have pulled us out of that shit today. I don't think so either, mate, to be honest.
No.
I think too much on a young lad's shoulders at an early age. Right, cheers for joining, boys. Martin, Pancars, Dietrich.
We're not done yet.
Well, is it something else you want to talk about?
No, no, I'm joking.
Anyone, Martin, mention anything?
That's Pancard.
Pancakes, yeah,
What?
you got a lot to say, mate. Anything you want to touch on? No?
I just want to say that again, Woodward might do something like a PR or might just maybe agree a fee for maybe Sancho, or maybe something big he might do with some signing players or something. And the fans will fall in that same trap. And B might be another honeymoon period with the new signings and then play well and then afterwards drop off again and then it's gonna be the same thing again. So I don't know what's wrong really. It's like whether it's the same thing. Like under Jose we used to see these performances, so I don't know what's wrong. I don't know. It's like
I've got a question.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Pankaj, how are you?
what? I'm
How
good,
are
man.
you?
I'm good. I'm good.
You seem really, really just devastated.
I mean,
No,
I'm
with all due
I'm
respect,
passionate
no,
as a fan.
I'm just joking. But if any other United fans, need a shoulder to cry on or anything like that, Pankaj's DMs are always open. Don't
Nah,
come to
I
me.
mean, I'm gonna forget about it, man. I'm gonna forget about this performance, man. But it's like first game
Are
of
we
the
playing
season is
Tuesday?
kind of.
Tuesday, Luton. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Oh,
Oh, is it
Carabao Cup.
Luton?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is
We're
anyone
away.
even going to bother watching that?
Do you
I
think we
will.
can? Do you think there is any hope for us to win a trophy this
No.
season? Like I'm not
I
seeing
do.
like a
Yeah, probably
maybe
Carabao Cup.
FA Cup, Farah Cup, anything like maybe I don't know. But
I think
Yeah.
the only way we win a
Early
cup
days.
competition is if
Early
it
days.
favours us. That's it.
mhm,
I think as soon as we come up against a big team, we'll be out. And I think in the Champions League, they'll struggle to get out of
no.
the group stage. And
Nah.
I wouldn't be surprised, mate, if they came out of the group stage, to be honest. If you can't do that against Crystal Palace, and all right, I know it's a friendly, but it's still a competitive friendly in Aston Villa. I think I think Champions League is way too far for this team, way too far,
I think
and it doesn't have the squad depth, mate, to cope with 60+ games a season. It's as simple as that.
and you know behind which went pot two, I think, right? For the Champions League,
Mhm.
where there will be big teams like maybe Barcelona, Bayern Munich. Imagine
You
Bayern
imagine?
Munich. Bayern Munich just smashed Barcelona too in the Champions
Yeah.
League. Like,
Do you know
So,
what? As weird as it
imagine-
may be, I'd actually, as some of you will be aware, I've got a bit of a soft spot for Bayern. I love the way that they run as a club.
Yeah,
And
I do.
I love the players. Everything's done right. The player or the fan owned. Sell out the stadium. They've got fantastic players. Oh, it's what they're literally what how a football club should be run. Complete and utter dominance in that league. And do you know what I mean? They weren't even happy with Guardiola because he didn't even win the Champions League. Although he won them like the league title every single season, they weren't happy with that. That's kind of, and then you look at honest, and it just kind of shows you where we are. But I'd actually love to see us play Bayern Munich. I've always said, right, when the group stages are always drawn in the Champions League, I always hope for one of the big teams because I always that's kind of how I always judge where we are as a team. But how we play against the likes of Real Madrid, Inter Milan, AC Milan, the Juventus, the Bayerns. That's what gives me like a good indication of where we are. Not the way we play against fucking Crystal Palace and Luton.
Yeah.
Akil says he wouldn't be surprised if we crush out the group stages either. Max says Lewis Dunk equals all our defence. He also says 5-0 for Luton. I think Tuesday's game is going to be even worse than today's, to be honest. I think Luton will outmuscle them. They'll outfight them.
We don't look like a Champions League team, right? I don't know.
Where's it being played at?
Luton.
Okay.
Yeah. I see your eyebrows raised there, mate. It don't look pretty, does it?
But
Carly says the big thing that
Woo.
change all the doom and gloom is finding players over at UED. Mate, like I say,
you know what I
reckon-
want to say to George Kaya?
what's that?
It's too late to get signings now because he could have done it before. It's too late.
And I
That's
think
all
you
I'm
and George Carl just need to have like a fight. Just, and
Just have it out.
yeah, a socially
He wants-
distanced fight.
He wants this prick to fix it. I don't think so. He's gonna fix it. To be honest, Edward Wood.
I reckon we should make
I
that
thought you said
happen,
I'll fix him. Then I'm about to say, oh, is that did he accept it?
I think
Ah.
we need a Kylie versus Panky Devil fucking face off, mate. One night on it. So,
Socially distanced. They have to be. They have to
But-
be in a bubble with each other for 2 weeks. Just
But,
to-
but I'm not wrong.
COVID.
I'm not wrong. You know, it's too late to get signings in. I'm not wrong about that.
I've got to say, mate,
Oh,
agree with
I don't
Panky
know.
here, too.
No, I wouldn't say we're too late, but I think anything done at this, if it's not Sancho, anybody we're kind of linked with now, it'll be labelled as a panic buy. Comes a
Yeah.
point in the middle of the transfer window where anything you get in the mid below before that point, everyone says, "Oh, they've got their business done early," and then after a certain point, every single thing done is a panic buy as it's labelled.
Mm-hmm.
Akil says, forget Sancho, go out and sign Upper Meccano and Sarr for that money. You're on about Sarr from Watford, isn't it? Is it Watford?
Yeah.
It's Smiley Sarr, whatever his name is.
Ismail
Um,
Sarr.
Jared says, you're wrong. It's not too late till October 5th. That's only like 2 weeks away, Jared, mate. Mohammed says there'll be nowhere to hide this season. Just look at Leeds. Everyone will be coming to Old Trafford thinking they can beat us. We'll have to put fear in them like the latter part of last season. And Kylie says, him and Pankaj aren't fighting. I'm his biggest fan. Mate, there's something wrong
Don't
with
lie.
you, Kylie.
Don't lie. Fuck you.
Pussy.
Right, let's call it a night. Cheers for coming on,
Yeah.
Pankaj. Better late than
Yeah,
never,
yeah.
isn't it?
Aye. Next time we
Martin?
message you on Twitter, you get back to us.
Yeah. I was actually busy in something. I was busy actually, so I didn't see your message.
There's no excuse. We're
Yeah,
busy.
no excuses,
Too
Pankaj.
busy for
You're
us.
in your chat. No excuses. Martin, cheers for coming on, mate. Looking nice
Thanks
and
for
cool.
having me
Yeah.
again.
Thanks,
Right,
man.
how's Skyforce going?
Fucking smashing it, mate.
Oh, yeah?
Fuck
Yeah.
Skyforce.
I told him
I
to
think I'm
download
on
it.
chapter 8 now.
Yeah?
Yeah, but
Oh,
there's 3
fucking
different
hell.
levels on each chapter, and I've completed them all.
Stick it on Insane, then you'll have a proper game then.
No.
Dietrich, pleasure as always, mate. Nice of you to liven things up, right, as much as you can. It's not all doom and gloom, mate. You're playing Tsushima in a minute.
Fucking Anna.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll see
it's not
what I
all-
can do.
Yeah, it's not all doom and gloom, but yeah, right. Cheers for coming on, lads. Hope you enjoyed it,
Yeah.
everyone. Don't forget as well, get involved with Mark's report card as well.
Yeah.
I think the line's still open on the Skype for it. The report card at outlook.com. Get your man of the matches in, do your videos on there, and let's have some
Yeah.
fun. All right.
Yes,
So,
sir.
cheers, people. Speak
Cheers,
to you all
mate.
later.
Cheers.
All right.
Yes. Pleasure.
Bet
Pleasure, man.
Martin disappears.
But he does. But